Hello, so this is my year in sketchbooks. Starting off with the first term, we did a project called Sense of Place, and it was open to interpretation. I started off by exploring Manchester Art Gallery, did a few drawings of some of kind of my favourite pieces that I saw. Then we drew from like the top of a building. It was just exploring different ways of drawing, different perspectives, the way that our eyes work, and drawing from different angles and overlaying it. I quite enjoyed that actually. Then we've got my first two animations of like rotating objects and my 2020 print exchange piece. These are some observations from St. Peter's Square. And then life drawings that I then scanned in and worked over the top of. I just did it to explore with colours and stuff like that. Then a more complicated animation, and then drawing at the Whitworth in the garden behind it. There was a statue and we were asked to interpret it in our own way. So I did. I enjoyed that as well. And then observations at the Manchester Museum. This was like all my pieces based on home brought together. And then this is about my boyfriend's bedroom and my pieces for Inktober. At this point, I kind of changed which direction I was going in. I wanted to do a more abstract take on things. I started drawing mundane objects and giving them their own voice, imagining what they'd be saying. That was fun. Some more live drawing, and then I drew on the windows of corner shop next to Oxford Road. This is a piece from CP1, just a collage, and then I did a drawing out the window and inverted it to make it as though it was at night. Photoshop workshops, and then the basis of my animation piece, which I then inverted and really liked. Library research, and then I did some collages based on all of the different places that I've called home, and I did them on acetate so I could see what they'd look like overlaid. And so each of these pieces then kind of became symbolic to a part of my life, which was nice. Got some research on Picasso and Matisse, Tracy Emin, David Hockney, Lucian Freud. These were all kind of print artists. And then this is the last bit of this project. It was more life drawing. Kind of created a zine thing, which was different, working to time constraints. Yeah, and then that's the end of that. This was kind of like just my rough sketchbook, where I kind of started doing ideas, making observations of areas around me, certain like I like looking at the way the light shines on things, so it was mainly exploring that and how the light interacts with its surroundings. I did about 40 or so of these just to kind of draw little aspects, and then they became a bigger poster. I love working with colour, as you can probably tell. And so I made this sketchbook and it went a bit wild colour wise, but I like it. Yeah, and then this was like a realisation I had, and then I did a bit more work as I had been doing, and then I kind of started experimenting with monoprinting and drawing from photos, like a little comic strip, drawing out the window, and then I started creating more abstract pieces like collages based around the song Home, because my project was based around the feeling of home. And then there's a song called Home that I really liked, so this was my response to that. I then kind of overlaid it all, messed around with the colours, had a bit of a play. Not too impressed with most of this, but it was nice to have an experiment, just see where I was taking it. Yeah, kind of very loose work at this point. I was just exploring. Then this becomes like plans for the pieces that became the layers of my collages. And then I kind of wrote a bit about each of them and what they meant to me and what I was kind of trying to convey. Yeah, it's just more of those really. I think I did 12 of those in total. More collages and then the end. Then this was another set of final pieces. I couldn't decide on my final piece. So this was a book that I made with like tracing paper and cartridge paper, with the collages of kind of like mundane items and their voices. So like this sofa says, "Get your dirty backside off of me." And then the table, that's, yeah. Then I drew my boyfriend and my mugs, and IKEA plant, standard in any student home really. Front door, and the radiator. It says always on, never a thank you. Just felt bad for the radiator really. Yeah. Oops, and I dropped it. And then this is just a little flip book of all of my frames for my animation. I thought I might as well bind them and do something nice with them. This is second term, so just going through the sketchbook. This was a piece that I did for Art Sock, and then research on Saul Steinberg, brainstorming for the Saul Steinberg project, more brainstorming with different colours, and then I kind of started working on what direction I wanted to take the piece, and then these are the outcomes. You've got the original versus the edited one, and again, with the other two it's the original versus the edited one. I then turned some of these into GIFs in the GIF workshop, which was fun because I didn't know how to do stuff like that before. Yeah, and then the second project, we got given 2 images and you had to kind of join them together in 12 frames, and so this is my initial exploration, and then I kind of wrote out a storyboard of ideas, had a go at colouring in my pieces to see what I liked the best, and yeah, inspired by Orson Welles, what film was that? Oh, I can't remember what film it was. But then these are the final outcomes, which I really am quite proud of actually. I want to do more stuff like this because I think it's quite effective, and it looks really nice when it's all together. Yeah. Then that's some live drawing. I was going to work with it, but I wasn't very happy with it. But yeah, I quite like that because you can see her breakfast in her belly. Then the edited pieces, just having a bit of an explore. Then we had to do a project based on like an obituary for a famous person. So I kind of chose to explore Alan Turing, as I like the way he thinks. Same way with Amelia Earhart. She's kind of like a female pioneer, so I liked that. In the end I chose to go with Alan Turing because I felt there was quite a few different aspects to him, and then I created a GIF out of that. Then we had the printmaking brief, which was pretty open. It was like you could take it where you wanted, really. So I started off by doing some etchings and then some monoprints and then some lino. I really like that piece, actually. I then used my etchings to create a risograph piece, which I sold prints of it for charity, which was nice. Kind of reached a standstill. Then I created these laser cuts and painted them, which I really liked. And then I did a bit of screen printing, trying out different colours on different backgrounds. You can see the test colours there. And then all the different outcomes. Did a bit more mono printing, thought I might enjoy that, actually didn't. This was a massive fail, which I then just kind of worked on top of. Did some etching, like a self-portrait, and then I did a couple of collagraphs, but I made a mistake on them, which was really annoying. These three figures kind of represented going forward, staying still, or moving backwards in your journey in life. Quite deep. Yeah, and then this is like my final prints. We were meant to do one and I ended up doing about 16. Then this is the group project we did. You had to kind of create a mini tableau, so like a mini theatre, and we were doing it on Greek myths, I think they were Greek, and that's my outcome. I really enjoyed doing that as it was group work, which I don't usually like. And then this is my last project of the year, which started off, it was Unit X, it started off with the Inspira talks, which obviously got cut short because of coronavirus, but I still researched the ones that I was interested in. I wish I could have gone to them. Then we had to do a collaborative project. We had to do an animation going along to a 1-minute section of Alfred Schnittker's Cello Concerto No. 1, I think. So I broke the minute up into 5-second intervals and kind of collaged with them and then overlaid it all, created the animation. I didn't really enjoy the group project, if I'm honest. Previously, there was just a piece on coronavirus. Then I started looking at the Polly Put the Kettle On brief. I love Greek vases, so I just include them at any point. This was a bit on the Charlemagne Carrington event, which I enjoyed because I really like a song called Charlemagne. Yeah, we've got a bit more on the Charlemagne Carrington event, and then 6 pages of artist research, I think. I just kind of, anyone that my tutor suggested to me, I just looked into. Did a few pieces to say thank you to the NHS. And then I started kind of delving into the magical thinking aspect of things, and I got at some really kind of hard topics for me, but I found it really beneficial in the end. I created a 12-page zine, just about, it had like excerpts from my therapy journal and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I did some kind of abstract illustrations, but to me they meant a lot. And then I wrote a bit of like a poem to go with them. Then I wanted to explore 3 envelopes that had been meant quite a lot to me when I was not well, and I wanted to make those into an art form themselves, so that's what I tried to do. Then this piece was on the Invictus poem by Ernest Henley. I wanted to kind of convey the poem because it meant a lot to me during quite a hard time, and then that's the final outcome. Did a bit of screen printing in the back garden. Didn't turn out amazing, didn't turn out terrible. And then I redid a piece that I'd done when I was poorly. Yeah. And then the last thing is my digital submission, where I just talked through the Unit X project, talked through the journey of it and stuff. and then yeah, this was the final hand in, which I wanted to kind of bring everything together, so I changed the colours a bit, and I wrote about the process that I'd gone through. Yeah, I find for me laying out everything and explaining why I've done it kind of helps me come up with ideas and stuff. And yeah, that's it. That's my sketchbooks for the year. All done.